everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fashion Grunge podcast. I am your host, Lauren.
And I'm Mike.
I'm Charles.
What's up? We are all together. Three of us today.
This is so funny and weird. I love it.
This is so cool. Yeah, we haven't done one all three together. We're talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer from 1992, the original film, not the TV show. Yeah, I'm excited. It's like Halloween-y somewhat. And
vampires,
it's cool. I'm excited. Yeah, vampires. And Luke Perry, rest in peace, will always be the best part of this entire movie. But yeah, I'm super stoked to talk about this. Are you guys excited?
Yeah, totally excited.
I am so excited. I am wearing my Sunnydale High School t-shirt.
Oh, that's right.
I want one.
I have so many issues with the fact that like this movie and the TV show don't line up like hardly at all. Mm-hmm. Like it's not even called Sunnydale, right? Like their high school is not Sunnydale.
Well, it's just Los Angeles, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's in LA. It's not like Central.
Yeah.
Like Central California, yeah.
But in the TV show, at least the first 2 episodes, they do reference some parts of the movie, not kind of, so it's like a little bit of throwback.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, one of the behind the scenes notes that I had, which really fucking sucks, and I wish they did, was that in the TV show, they refer to the fact that she's in Sunnydale was because she burned down the school gym because she was fighting off vampires, and that didn't happen in this film. Like, it was something that Joss Whedon wanted to do that was in the script. Yeah. And I was like, that sucks because I think when I first watched, I'll just do my first thoughts first. I first watched this film when I think it was probably during the first season of Buffy was on TV, and I was like, oh, that's right, it's a movie. I want to see the movie. I think I rented it, and then I was expecting like the gym to be burnt down, like because they'd been referencing it, like that's why she went to the school, she got kicked out, whatever.
Oh, no.
And then I was like, and I was like, this is so not the TV show. It's way more comedy campy than I thought, because the show is campy, but it's still like really smart and like it's way darker, and more well written and stuff. And also there's just it's just so different. I mean, it's completely different. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the Buffy show by now.
Oh yeah.
If you're listening to this, you probably have seen it. So yeah, I was like super I was like, oh, this is totally different. But then I'm trying to look at it objectively, and it is pretty funny. Like when you think about it.
It's very
but yeah, that's when I first saw it. Yeah, super campy. Yeah, so I just saw it like randomly, and then this is Luke Perry's first film, like first feature. He was already Dylan McKay, so you could tell.
It must have been like what, the first or second season of 90210.
Like the third, maybe? Didn't that start in like 89?
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
I was like 89 or 90. I forget the exact year, but I think he'd been going for a while.
Yeah, so and also in the credits in the beginning, it's like and Luke Perry. So that means he's like the draw. Like he's the one that they're like I think it's like and him and Donald Sutherland too, because they're both like they're probably the most well known out of everyone in there.
Yeah.
So Mike, what about you? When's the first time you saw this?
Honestly, I think I saw it on TBS. Again, way after watching a bit of the Buffy TV show, and just like you, I was like, oh yeah, there is a movie. And I mean, to compare them, it's interesting because, like you said, there's the TV show is darker. It's more Joss Whedon's baby, even though Joss Whedon's baby kind of, the movie, it got a little twisted here and there, and I'm glad they made the TV show.
Oh, thank God.
I forgot how short this was, because you're watching it, and then within a blink of an eye, you're like, oh, it's over.
It's literally, it feels like a TV movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a feature film that you would see in the theater. It feels very much like a TV movie that would be on like Fox or something.
Yeah.
Like back in the 90s.
But I mean, it's on TBS a lot, or was, and then I think on a couple of other random stations. And then of course with Halloween coming up, it's like popping up, so.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it keeps popping up. What about you, Charles? When did you see it?
So So, I watched this movie long before I started watching the series.
Oh wow,
So,
nice.
so for a long time, for me, Christy Swanson was Buffy, and and people were saying, "Yeah, I'm sure it's a good movie, but you should really watch the show." And I'm just like, whatever. How good can the TV show be? So, so I mean, I probably started watching this movie when I was like 10 or 11 years old,
Oh
and
wow.
I like quoted it constantly, and my parents always got mad at me just because they're just like, "You're such a smart ass." And I'm just like,
What?
"Does the word duh mean anything to
I
you?"
love that line. I have that one of my quotes.
So funny. Wow. So what did you think about the TV show coming from someone who'd seen the movie first? Because we both have
Mhm.
seen this show first.
I think I was like in like my third or fourth year of college when I started to finally watch the
Oh
show.
wow,
But like,
Whoa,
that's
really?
crazy.
yeah,
Oh shit.
because I was home for the summer and I had just had my wisdom teeth taken out.
Oof.
And I was like, well, I might as well start watching Buffy. so,
Wow.
and so I started watching it, and it was just, I was like, I take it all back. This show is amazing.
I also have a similar medical recovery story and binging a vampire series. I had gallbladder surgery and I binged True Blood.
Oh, nice.
That was my like, okay, I need to watch a show because I'm gonna be like in the bed for like a month and I need to like find
Oh
something that has
yeah.
a bunch of seasons. And I was like, oh, 7 seasons.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
still need to finish that series. I think I dropped off at the third or fourth, wherever the it got all fairy like.
Now, see, I would say that True Blood as a show is way more in line with this film.
Oh, definitely.
Mm,
It's like really campy and like kind of it got really campy
Yeah.
after like True Blood did it. I feel like it was the beginning was really strong and then it just got like whoa, like
yeah.
it just got a little too crazy. But did you guys find any behind the scenes notes? We were all having some trouble because this was like in the dark ages when there wasn't social media and crazy amounts of people telling you what was happening. But did you guys find
Um,
anything?
so I can find a lot, but the one thing I found is that the original concept for Buffy the Vampire Slayer is that Joss Whedon created a character named Rhonda the immortal waitress.
What?
Oh, I
Rhonda
didn't
the
see it.
Immortal Waitress?
Yeah, and apparently, I think he kind of like loved the idea of like a character who like had supernatural powers, but still had to deal with like the boring, mundane, day to day stuff that like you know normal people do. I think that I think that Ron to the Immortal Waitress eventually turned into Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Huh.
And also turned into Anne when she was a waitress in season 3 of Buffy.
Yes.
In the beginning when she was like that waitress for
Oh
like a
yeah,
hot
that's
second.
right.
Yeah, there are all these nods about like things that he wished would have happened.
Yeah, if he got more
Probably that just like
control, yeah.
yeah, that's really funny.
Well,
I have oh yeah, do you have any other notes?
Me? No.
I have the budget was 7 million, which seems like kind of a lot back then.
mhm.
Maybe, right? 92.
For
I feel like
90s
let
movie,
me
yeah.
actually let me look that up. Let me look up what 7 million is today because they have that thing now. Um, let's see. And also I have that obviously like this is not Joss Whedon's original interpretation. Like he obviously wanted it to be not as campy, not as like I think as funny, and I think it was being written so much that like apparently through the like some part through the production he was frustrated, walked off, and never came back. Which is I find really funny. And then also like we talked about like the gym burnt down in the original story, and they didn't cover that in the movie, but in the show, that's what happened at her
Yeah.
school. And I think in the movie, isn't this she's supposed to be a senior?
In the movie, she's a
Oh,
senior. In the TV
yeah.
series, she starts in the 10th grade,
Yeah, that's what I thought. I
which,
was like, that's crazy.
yeah, if you want to attempt to find a like a connection, you'd be like, oh, well, she was held back a few years.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, okay. I just looked it up. 7,092,000 was worth about 12.9
That's
million
a
today.
lot. I mean, for
Yeah, it's almost double.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. So yeah, that's a big budget, which they clearly did not use on a decent soundtrack.
They could have got
Because
so many bands.
yeah, they could have definitely gotten some bands, but $7 million, but it made 16.6, so
True.
it did well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so at least it wasn't a total bomb. Yeah, which is super interesting. Do you have any favorite acting, or like do you have any favorite actors in this that you're like, oh, they were really funny or they were really good besides
Um,
Buffy?
I love the actress who plays Buffy's mom,
Oh, I know.
whose name is Candy Clark, and she was in the movie American Graffiti,
Oh, that's
which
Oh,
right.
came
I
out
haven't seen
which
that.
came out
Me
in
neither.
1974, I think. And for that role, she was nominated for an Oscar.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It's on American Graffiti is on HBO if anyone has HBO. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list though.
Yeah.
I heard it's good. Crazy. What about you, Mike? Do you have any standouts?
Honestly, I was disappointed. So when, sorry, thought process broken. David Arquette's character, even though a small bit, I wish that they would have elaborated on him a little more. Because
Mhm.
he was the, if you want to get technical, I guess he was the first one turned. So,
No,
right, or
wasn't
the
the
second one?
basketball
Oh,
guy?
that's right.
The
Yeah.
basketball
Sorry.
guy was
The
turned
second one
first, I
turned.
think.
But he
Yeah.
was more like he had a little more lines. He came up to Luke Perry's window. I thought it was going to go someplace more, and then it was just dropped. So I was like, "Oh, this sucks."
That was a weird scene where he like floats up to the window and he's just like, "Go home, dude, go home." And I was like, "That's it? He's not gonna like
Oh, I mean, like,
do
here's
anything?"
the thing about that is that Luke Perry was clearly looking out the window down at his feet. So why him not freaking out that he's floating is beyond me.
There are a lot of inconsistencies with when people realize and when they don't realize what vampires are real. I was like, wait, so people know that they're real or people don't know that they're real? Like what some people seem to not know what's going on and then other people are like, "Oh shit, they're a vampire." I'm
Right.
like, "What?" Like, wait, so do you guys all know this is happening and it's just okay and you just know you have to like
I
Luke
mean,
Perry is like getting out of town like it's a fucking nuclear war. Like he's like, "I'm getting out of town, packing up my Oz van and like like
basically.
getting out of here." I'm like, so he knows
I'm
and he's
like,
just gonna move town?
well, here's the thing. A lot of people from California always say that, California is like stranger than other places. So maybe it's the norm over there that people act like
Yeah.
this. I don't,
There's also no Hellmouth in this
and there's,
edition either.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we don't really know why things are happening. It just seems like they're happening, which I thank God for Joss Whedon flushing out this whole story in like 120 episode plus show because there's so many layers to the show that you can't get in like 84 minutes or whatever it is. But yeah, my favorite I think is definitely Luke Perry. I
Mhm.
do not like Christy Swanson outside of her personal feelings aside, but I mean, I get that they were probably going for this kind of like they wanted a dumb stuck up valley girl, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I feel like if that's what they were going for, like they wanted that kind of the valley speak was just over the top, like with all of her friends, like with the four friends and her. I thought it was a little bit much. Like the valley bit was a bit overkill,
There
but
was oh
oh yeah, go on.
no, I was just gonna say there were some times when her and her friends were talking, and I literally had no idea what they were saying. Like,
Yeah, it was literally like, okay. But maybe we were not on the West Coast in the early 90s. I know that it was kind of a trope. Like it
Mhm.
was definitely a thing that it was like, oh, Valley Girl, and they had that movie, Valley Girl with like, is it Nicolas Cage? I think he's in that movie. So I know that it was like a trope and a thing, but I felt like that was a little over the top. But I did like I did like Hilary Swank. I thought she was like so bad, but so good at the same time.
In my opinion, this was Hillary Swank's finest performance ever.
I
Like,
know. I was watching like this bitch won an Oscar. Like
she won
this is
two
crazy.
Oscars, and like,
Oh yeah, you're right. The boxing one. right? Didn't she win for the boxing movie?
Yeah, yeah, and then she also went for Boys Don't Cry, and like for some reason, like whenever I picture her, see her now, I just see "Get out of my facial."
Oh yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure that has to be the title of the episode, like just because, like it's just so funny. It's just so funny. Yeah, so we can get into the plot a little bit to like how it starts. The start is really weird. It's like this old like Middle Ages kind of tale, and you see like there's a girl, like a damsel, and then there's like a weird like vampire thing, and she's like kind of being awoken, but it's really Buffy's dream, which I think is really cool that they did that a little bit in the TV show. Like she had some like psychic kind of dreams, but not completely.
Mhm.
Which I think it's kind of cool that they have that like mixed in, which is pretty neat.
I think that I think that like this is the part where in the TV show they would have that voiceover that would say into each generation a Slayer is born.
I know.
So I mean I think this is sort of like the bare bones kind of like prototype for
Yeah,
that.
like introduction. It's so weird too that it's Kiefer Sutherland. Not Kiefer Sutherland, fucking Donald Sutherland. I don't know why. I think Mike said Kiefer Sutherland, which is so weird. But I don't know where Mike is. I don't know if we lost him, if he can hear us. I don't even know.
Mike, can you hear me?
Mike, where are
Hey.
you? Yeah,
Oh
now I
wow,
hear you.
that's so weird.
I was like, Mike's not talking. Did he hit the mute button?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was like, where is he? Did you hear us?
Yeah, I totally did. I'm sorry.
Okay,
That was
cool. Like
weird.
yeah, you heard where we were. I was like, his
Yeah.
little green dot's not there. Where is he?
Oh.
Um, no, it's totally cool. We're not ABC News, man. We're just fucking talking about a vampire movie. So it's good there's one other person here. So it's not like I'm just sitting here like, hello? Like, is anyone here? Yeah, that's true. And also it's weird that in the beginning you find out that all of the Slayers have a birthmark.
Yeah.
They have like a
little
yeah.
mole. Yeah.
which I think is kind of crazy, and I'm glad they kind of left that out of the TV show.
Yeah.
And I wrote, oh my gosh, high school basketball, LOL, and like the credits are like her cheering at like a high school basketball game. Now I do love the fact that Buffy did do cheerleading in season 1, but then she had that witch scenario.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then she kind of dropped it. I personally would have loved to seen more cheerleading in Buffy's high school in the
Mhm.
TV show, because it seems like in here this was like a big deal. Like she was still cheering, you know.
Wasn't Cordelia cheerleader too at some point? I forget.
Yeah, I think in that one episode,
Or just
right?
that one episode.
Or was she? I guess she was, but we just didn't see her cheer more than when she was with Buffy,
Oh, gotcha.
because like
Yeah.
she's not the main character. So it's like, well, she wasn't really main until what, 2?
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
she was like on the fringe, I guess, like in season 1.
Mhm.
Which is so crazy. And then I wrote, I love how it's like SoCal, the Middle Ages. I said, okay, so they flashed to everyone going to the mall, another super 90s moment, everyone gathering at the mall.
course.
I said, all 4 of these girls are wearing denim jackets. Super weird. They're all kind of dressed the same. And then I wrote, OMG, the Valley speak. It's just
So
insane.
crazy. But here's the thing is that like a lot of 90s movies that included California Valley speak, I guess, went that extra mile, that it was just extra drama. It was extra I don't know. You know what I mean?
Like over the top.
Over the
Yeah,
top,
it was like
yeah.
super over the top. And also because it was made for like a national audience,
Mhm.
not for people in California. Because obviously people in California are like, everyone doesn't speak like that. I mean,
Yeah.
people have kind of inflections, but they don't all speak with that very, oh my God.
Oh.
Like it's not, maybe they did in the early 90s.
It's not
I
like
don't know.
the Californian skit from SNL.
Oh, that's like kind of true. Like that's what's so funny about the Californians is that my mom thinks it's really funny, and I remember when I was out there, and she would like send it to me, and be like, "Look at this," and she's like, "Haha, this is so funny." I was like, "These are actual true directions."
You take a right.
Yeah, like it's actually true. Like I took 4 different highways to get to work at one point, and I was trying to tell her, I was like, no, really, like you actually do take the 10 to the 210 to the 720 to the other 10. Like she's like, what? I was like, no, it's actually true. And literally when you get places either earlier or later, like the first thing people do is tell you like how they got there. Like when you walk into a party, it's like, oh, there was so much traffic on Coldwater Canyon. I just can't. I've got to find another street. Everyone knows that street now.
It's like you
And
didn't
everyone's
even
like,
ask,
I
but I'm gonna
know.
tell you anyway.
Yeah, I know. It's literally that's how it is. It's so funny. But yeah, the Californians is like kind of true. But yeah, that is definitely like another valley. And I love how jocks are assholes everywhere.
Yeah.
Like they go to the movie and they're like all talking in the movie, and then like Luke Perry and David Arquette are like sitting behind them. Pike and what, Benny?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So I wonder if Pike was like Spike. I wonder if he got Spike from Pike.
Oh, maybe.
It's kind of similar.
Probably, yeah.
And they're like, yeah, right. And they're like talking through the movie, and they're like, oh, it's so annoying. And then later they see them at this like, I thought that was going to be the Bronze, like the place that the girls all go to get, I guess like a drink, not beer, right? Because they're in high
They're
school.
in high school, yeah. Like,
So I guess they're just eating food or whatever. And then that's when you see like Luke or Pike and Benny are like sitting at the bar, and then their waitress is Ricky Lake.
Just randomly, I don't know.
Just randomly, she's like, you can get a hot dog with all this. He has like hardly any money, like change. And then that's when they first kind of interact, which is kind of funny.
That one scene where he like puts the hot dog down by his like junk. I'm like, really? That was
And then doesn't she slice it?
Yeah.
Like one of the girls like slices like the thing in half, and he's like, you messed up my hot dog. I was like, you can eat it. Like, didn't throw it on the floor.
Yeah.
And then the guy from Dazed and Confused, he's Don in Dazed and Confused, but he is Grueller in this. He's on the basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird that he gets turned. What does he walk through?
It's like an abandoned like
carnival amusement park.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm just gonna go home. I was like, okay, this is so strange. And then I was like, holy shit! It's so weird that you see fucking Pee Wee Herman, aka whatever,
as a vampire.
What's his name?
Paul Rubens.
Paul Rubens.
No, I mean his character name. It's not with A. It's a weird name.
Emelin.
Yeah. And I was like, oh god, that's so weird. And you like see him there, and then of course you see, then you go home and you see Buffy's parents, and they're just like so weird.
Her dad is super gay.
Yeah, I think so.
But
what were they doing? They were like going out of town.
Yeah, for the weekend or something.
I think so. And then Buffy has a boyfriend who's like the epitome of a dick. I mean, all jocks in all movies are just awful.
Pretty much.
And they're like, he's just terrible. And also there's a lot of really like sketchy, what do you call it? I guess it would not be acceptable in today's, problematic to say the least, is that like when at one point, I think when she's like Buffy and her friends are coming out of the mall, and then like her boyfriend's driving, and then she like hops over the convertible and she's like laying on top of the other guy who's in the passenger seat, and then she's like kissing her boyfriend, and then the guy is like sitting there and he's like, can I just like have her for like a while?
Oh, I know, he was like so close to her ass.
I was like, ew.
Yeah,
I was like, that's gross. Yeah, I was like, that's so gross. And then of course like he just acts like a dick throughout the whole movie.
Oh yeah,
the boyfriend. And I was like, I love how she's just allowed to have her boyfriend over when her parents are out of town, and she's like in high school. Like, I don't know. Maybe my parents would never let that happen, but maybe other people's would. But I was like, it's just kind of weird. But they don't care.
No.
I mean, one of my favorite mom quotes is when she like, it's like later on in the film, and she comes in, and then she's like, it's really late, and her mom's like, what time do you think it is? And she's like, it's 10 o'clock. She's like, oh, good. My watch was totally not working.
I'm gonna be late.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, she literally has like a complete opposite mom than what she gets in the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like she gets a very like, no, she's not overprotective like Joyce in the TV show, but she's like around. Yeah, she's still around. You know?
And she's very fashionable, sort of. I liked it. I liked her sweater in the beginning, the mom's.
Yeah, very 80s.
Very, and her earrings and everything. Yeah.
I love that Hilary Swank bought that leather yellow jacket that Buffy was looking at the mall.
I call it
Hillary.
the April O'Neil jacket.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I forgot how much drama there was around this jacket.
Oh, I know. Right?
So much drama,
Like,
so much. And I think doesn't she give some other girl has the jacket? Like some
Yeah.
other girl gets the jacket later.
yeah, and then I guess she gives Hilary Swank's jacket to the friend, and then the friend gets taken by vampires, and when she wakes up in the vampire lair, she is not wearing the jacket.
That's
No.
that's that chick I was telling you about. The chick from Urban Legends,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Michelle
yeah.
Mancini. Well,
Yeah, the one that gets killed in the back of the
in the beginning of
car.
that, yeah.
Yeah. Someone's in your backseat. We reviewed Urban Legends. If you don't know, a lot of people liked that. It's so weird that all of the random films that I think no one's going to care about listening to are the ones that people care about listening to, like Urban Legend and like Disturbing Behavior. I'm like, fuck yeah,
That's
you guys are my
awesome.
people. You guys know these movies.
Thank you for paying
Awesome.
attention and listening.
Yeah. Thank you. And also, I forgot to mention that I'm going to make a master list of all of the films that like I want to cover, we're going to cover, and I'm going to put it somewhere because someone asked, I just mentioned this before, but someone asked like, can we get a big list of like everything you're considering? So I'll do it on Google so I can add and
Nice.
change things. Yeah, so people can see like what else are you going to do? And I think I told you, I don't know if I told you guys, I told Jai, but people want one film a month that is from current days, like from 2000 to 2020. So we'll pick one and then I think I'm going to announce it on the beginning of the month. And then the second Sunday of the month is when the more current episode will come out.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's cool. So now we'll get some current stuff in there, but a lot of people still were like, no, all 90s. But like 60% were like, no, one from current days. So that's cool. And I said, and then okay, Pike and Benny, they have a really funny relationship. I kind of like their banter back and forth. I said, if Pee-wee was a vampire, I would be fucking freaked out. Just as freaked out as Benny when he gets pulled over that cliff thing.
Yeah.
I like the way he like moves, like the way how he comes up out of like a trap door from like a bad stage.
Right.
Like he just like peeks up, like he just raises up and he's like, and he makes these weird, like he has like a weird echoey sound, like you can hear his voice before you see him.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny and like super.
So I guess vampires in this version of the mythology can like fly or levitate at least.
And don't pop into dust.
Yeah.
You never see their bodies.
It was just like, it was weird because they would like fall down out of camera sight and you're like, where did they go?
Yeah.
Are they just lying there? Like,
yeah, and also the whole like turning into another vampire versus killing is also very not descriptive because usually you have to drink the others. And it just seems like in this one, if you get bitten, you're a vampire. Like there's no dying. There's no like you just die if we don't turn you.
Yeah.
Which I think is really well, this is supposed to be pretty campy, but that's another pretty amazing like control aspect of vampires that they can kind of like really quickly decide whether or not they want to live with you forever or if they just want to kill you. Like they kind of are like, I don't really want to hang out with you forever, so I'm just going to kill you.
like,
or if I really,
society. Just kidding.
yeah, it's like a frat,
Right.
like a hazing. Like, okay, do I want to like really hang out with you, or do I need a partner? And do I want to be like Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt in Interview with the Vampire, where he's like, I'm gonna say it's for a companion, but you're fucking hot as fuck. That's why I'm gonna keep you around. And like Tom Cruise, we got it. We would totally do the same thing to Brad Pitt. And make a child in order to keep them with you. I mean, he's way ahead of its time. Yeah, way ahead of its time with like trying to save the marriage with children.
The child has to be Claire Danes. I will take no other.
No, Kirsten Dunst.
I mean, that's what I meant.
Oh, God.
Whoops.
Angela Chase, like sitting in a red wig, like thinking about her life out of the window. Yeah, Kirsten Dunst. She should have gotten an Oscar for that performance.
She really should have. Yeah.
I think it was incredible. And I said, yeah, why didn't TV Buffy do more cheerleading? She seems to always be cheerleading in this movie. I feel like that's like her main thing. And she does like gymnastics. Did the Buffy TV Buffy, I think, was ice skating, right?
Yes.
Wasn't that the thing that she did?
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, she was. This one was. She was ice skating. This one is like she used to gymnastics. So that's how she can do all that stuff. And then I said the lame Giles appears to break the news.
Merrick.
Merrick, the watcher, shows up in a really creepy way. It was actually pretty creepy too how both of these women got found, like got discovered or like got told the news that they were the Slayer. This was weird too when she was in the mall. Wasn't she in the mall when the guy when he
Yeah,
first like saw
they
her?
were. She was with the friends, and they were about to go into that elevator,
Mhm.
and he just like stares, like all gloves and all, and then
Yeah, I was like, they're all like, ew.
Oh yeah, and then there's a strange exchange of dialogue which took me years to figure out what they were actually saying. But like so like I guess they're on the elevator and then Merrick comes up to the door and presses the button and it opens and then Buffy like stares at him and she's like, "Excuse much rude or anything?" And then and then like Hillary Swank says, "Nice ensemble," and then like a third girl says, "What a homeless."
Oh yeah. It's so awful.
Right?
These girls are so vapid and so terrible. Like, it's really bad.
Oh my god!
And they even say that about Luke Perry. I was like, that is Dylan motherfucking
I
McKay.
mean,
You better put
right?
respect on his name right now. Like, you girls are crazy. He is probably like the most famous young actor in the world right now. Like,
Yeah.
because they were just massive. Like in the early '90s, I think they had to like run out of buildings in like laundry trucks, like because people would hound them.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
there's an interview where he was talking about that. It was just nuts. So that's really funny. I bet there are fans who even like knew the set where the set was.
Oh, I'm
Because it was in
sure.
LA,
I'm
I'm
sure.
sure people saw him. They're like, "Oh my god, Luke
Oh
Perry's like."
well, the school that they use in the TV show is like the same school that they use in 90210.
Oh no
Oh,
way!
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh, cool. Wow, I didn't know that. Um, okay, so Merrick is now like in the gym now. Found her, knows her name. He knows all this information about
Basically
her, which is like,
corners her.
yeah, like in a very creepy
Very.
way. Like,
You need to work on your pitch, dude.
yeah, totally. You need to like, what is it? Workshop that. You
Yeah.
to workshop that pitch. And it's really confusing where he says like, okay, so he was in that he describes all those weird dreams or like he's like, you've had a dream where like there's been this girl and then she's been killed and then and she's like, yeah, I had another dream where this happened and this happened. So he just knows everything
Mhm.
about what's going on. But I find it really weird. So he says that he's essentially like not immortal, but he's like reincarnated
Yeah.
every generation to be like the trainer of these
Mhm.
girls, but he's not immortal.
No.
Okay, so he just takes in a different form. Now, apparently, I read in the original, which is very dark, which
Right.
I kind of would have liked
Very.
to have seen, is he apparently commits suicide, Merrick does, because he doesn't want to get killed by Lothos.
Oh.
And
Huh.
instead of like what ends up happening, instead of him just ended up getting like stabbed or whatever. But yeah, I feel like that's such a weird, like darker spin on it,
Well,
which is thank God the show is darker. So
Mhm.
I
we don't
think,
have
and maybe this was, something else I read, but I think there was like a loosely based comic before the movie
Oh.
that's where Joss Whedon was like getting his material from,
Oh,
and he was
okay.
trying to recreate that, and then obviously like what is the company, Fox? They were just like,
Mhm.
no, this is not going to fly with the audiences, and we're going to
Yeah, I
do it
guess it
this
is
way.
really dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably would have gotten like a rated R rating,
Hmm.
which I think this was what, like it's probably PG-13, right?
I think
So
so.
more
Yeah.
people could see it.
I think so, yeah.
Another interesting tidbit from Buffyverse is that motherfucking Queen Dolly Parton is a co-owner of Sand Dollar Entertainment,
And
which produced
which,
the show.
yeah, they bought the
Uh,
rights. Yeah.
Cool.
so if we're not for Dolly Parton, we would not have Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV series. So
Oh my god.
Dolly for president.
Side note, real quick, if you guys like to see something with Dolly Parton, her documentary that came out last year is on Netflix. It's
I heard it's
amazing.
good.
It's amazing.
Oh, nice. I was just telling Jai the other day that me and Charles went to go to Dollywood.
I want to go so badly.
I know we should all go.
I mean,
like when things open up, I'm down to drive.
oh yeah, I don't know, I guess before COVID, I should say. She did reside there a lot. I mean, she has a house over there, so
So
yeah.
cool. She probably still does.
Oh yeah,
It's probably safer, right? To be
probably
like
because no one's there. Yeah.
yeah, than to be like in a major city. Okay, so now Benny got bitten by Pee Wee Herman.
Hmm.
And now this is when he does that weird floaty scene where he shows up at Pike's apartment window, like outside. But he lives over like a garage, like a car
Yeah.
garage, like a
Yeah, I
mechanic
think
place,
so.
because that's where he works. So how old is Luke Perry supposed to be?
I'm gonna say 22.
Okay, you think 22. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking like 20-ish.
Well, does he go to that? Does he go to the school? He goes to that.
No, he
school, right?
works.
No, he just works. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
probably say early 20s.
Yeah, okay. So that's what I kind of figured.
It's never said,
Um
but yeah.
No, definitely. The whole floating scene, we were talking about it. It's really funny. I was like, "I'm hungry." And he's like, "I'm hungry."
He's like, "Are you
Like,
high?"
yeah, he's like, "What are you on, man?" I was like, "What are you on?" He's fucking floating.
Right. He's on air.
It doesn't matter if he feels like he's floating, he's actually fucking floating. Like, this is crazy. And then it's also weird, like the makeup job, I have to say, is just so funny and so
I
bad.
mean, you could
Like the
totally tell the
ear.
ears. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
what's up with the ears? Like, oh, it's God, they did an upgrade on this
it's
show.
not great.
They had
Oh
the
yeah.
dust. They were like into dust. They had the faces that actually changed. Like, you could see them. Like, it's pretty cool. And then I wrote again, her parents are just terrible people. This is when she comes home and they're like, "We're going home, we're going away, like whatever, do what you want." She's gonna have her boyfriend over. I kind of wish he got turned
The
like
boyfriend?
early
Yeah.
on. Yeah, I kind of wish. And then of course, she's already said like, "No, fuck you" to Merrick, like, "I'm not doing your bullshit." He pops up in the fucking locker room
Oh,
like
I
a
know, right?
mega creeper. I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, this is a naked place.
See, here's the thing too, is that like not only this shows also that not only the parents are bad, but like faculty in the school in general is like a miss. They're nowhere.
Awesome.
Like, I mean,
Yeah, the
adults
principal's so
clearly suck.
I mean, it is a public school in the early 90s, which I think means there is like no supervision at all. So,
yeah,
like,
it's basically almost like when we went to high school.
yeah.
Like it's like babysitting for like 8 hours a day, and they're like, okay, go.
Mhm.
You guys are done. Then I have okay. So I love her training sequence. That's one of my favorites. And it looks like she does a lot of stunts.
Yeah.
mean-
And I do also like the Divinal song. It plays over her training montage.
Oh, that's what it is. I was gonna
Yeah.
say that song. I like that song.
Yeah.
And then okay, we flash to like Pike's gonna leave town. He goes to his boss at the garage place, and he's like, "Fucking weird shit's going on, man. I'm getting the hell out of here." I was like, okay, so he accepts that his friend's a vampire, and he's not like sufficiently weirded out. Like, I mean, he is, but it just seems like I wouldn't believe this. I would just be like, "What? Vampires? What are you talking about? This is crazy." I wrote Oz van.
Yeah.
Totally has Oz's van, and apparently Seth Green is in this film, and you see him.
Yeah. He's a
Yeah.
vampire at the prom, or I mean, dance.
Oh, okay. I couldn't see him. I couldn't spot him. I read that and I was like, oh shit. But I think you just see the back of him, right?
Hmm.
Like, I don't think you really see his face or anything.
It's very like second, like you see his face for a second, but he's unrecognizable. Yeah.
Oh, crazy. And then I love how you see Merrick's house. How did he get this house? Where is this house?
Right.
This is amazing.
It looks like a dance studio.
Mm-hmm. It totally does.
Like, I don't know what that space is.
Like flash dance.
Yeah, definitely.
That's totally what it seems like. Almost like how Angel co-opted that amazing mansion in like season 2.
Oh,
Wasn't it a hotel?
Hotel?
Yeah.
No, in Buffy.
Oh, you're right.
No, before he's not dead yet.
Okay.
It's season 2 because he has that weird apartment when they sleep together. It was like underground.
Mhm.
That was pretty cool too. But then he like co-opted that house, that mansion, like on the hill. And I was like, I love that no one lives in here. It's pretty cool. This is kind of like what this one seemed like too. Like he just co-opted this house. This like amazing house. And I wrote, yeah, it's so weird that Pike knows about vampires. So he's like running around and he's like trying to get away. And then it's really funny in the featurette on YouTube when they talk about the movie a little bit. Luke Perry's like, yeah, I play like the damsel in distress.
Yeah.
So we like flipped it around a little bit where like these vampires are all chasing me and running after me, and like that's when Buffy comes out and she like kicks ass, and then she gets the arm of Pee-wee and she like ruins his jacket, and he's like all freaked out about his jacket.
Oh no, well he's okay. So Pee Wee Herman is on like the roof of the van, and
Mhm.
he like punches his arm through the roof to like grab Luke Perry, and he like drives right into a branch.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so
And then Luke Perry crashes the van, and like Pee Wee Herman and his minions are just like, my jacket is ruined, and he's like, he turns to like the other vampires, and he's like, yeah, kill him a lot.
yeah. Yeah, kill him a lot. That's right, I forgot. That's so funny. And then I wrote, "Whoa, he's 1,200 years old," because we find out that he's working for like the head bitch Lothos, who's
Yeah.
from the Hitcher. And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "So no one knows that people are vampires, but like, I don't." It's very
They know
confusing on
something
what.
strange is going on.
Yeah, like it's weird, like whether or not people know what's really going on. That's like the strangest part of the whole thing. So then that's when you see they go to like a basketball game. Buffy's like, no, I've got to cheer. I can't do this. I've got to cheer. Like they're gonna say that I'm like being crazy. I'm like, you are saving the planet now. You have no time for cheerleading. Like, just quit it. But she doesn't. And that's when we see that little cameo from Ben Affleck,
Yeah, that's right.
Batfleck.
which is so weird. Batfleck or whatever.
He's always
Um,
gonna be.
that new,
I'm always gonna say that. I don't know.
that new Batman looks fucking garbage. I have to say, I'm not excited. I
mean,
know you're gonna be excited about it, Mike.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
Have you seen the trailer, Charles?
I'm what?
Have you seen the trailer for the new Batman
I
with
have
Pat?
I have not. But my initial reaction is like, oh god, another one. Like,
A 10-year? Is it been a 10-year gap?
no.
Maybe it has, right?
maybe,
Not since.
maybe.
Oh, you mean between now and Christian Bale's?
Well, that's been a 10-year
That's
gap.
been.
But,
I don't know.
yeah, what was it? Oh, was it 10 when the last one was out?
Was
Because 08 was the Joker one. I think it must have been 10,
it?
2010, when Rises came out.
Okay.
I guess it has been 10 years, but can we get a little bit more space? Can we get like 15 years in between another Batman?
I know.
Like,
It's that big game of Hollywood has no imagination, so they're like, let's regurgitate these certain characters.
the
And
same thing.
I
Like,
mean, here's a thought. They don't really like turn a lot of like like plays or like Broadway stuff into films anymore.
no.
They could do that again. But might
Yeah, they could.
you
They
know
could do more books.
Mhm.
I mean, I think they still do books quite a lot, but just the
yeah
reboots, come on. Or other comics.
yeah
There's
There are
so
tons
much
of comics.
material out there that these people
Yeah.
refuse to use.
They probably just think that no one's gonna know it, so no one's gonna go see it. Like, that's probably there. They're like, let's do Batman. Everyone knows his story. Everyone's comfortable with seeing it, but it's like,
And I know certain companies own certain things, like Disney, right?
Mhm.
Like Mega Disney. They own, well, pretty much everything at this point.
fucking everything.
But
Star Wars.
they own like the Marvel stuff. They own the Star Wars stuff. So I get it. Some companies can only use certain things. But even in Disney itself, like there's the material there already that has been written for years. Use it, and then they come up with crap like Age of Apocalypse.
What's that?
It was X-Men. It was pure crap. Well, in my opinion,
Okay.
Justin loves it, but
Which one was that?
that was
Like
the one with
fourth?
that it was like the blue dude,
Oh,
and he was like,
guy.
"We're gonna
Yeah,
throw the
yeah,
better one." Yeah, it was pure crap.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah, that's right.
in my opinion,
That wasn't bad, though. Phoenix was dope in that.
better than the actual Phoenix movie.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that. Phoenix
Oh,
movie
you
was
haven't
pretty
seen it?
No, I heard it was
It
shit.
was
I was like, well, I
so
don't
bad.
care because Phoenix. I'm not like a giant. I mean, I'm a comic book like fan. I'm not like an rabid fan, but I like the characters, and I know a lot of them from playing them on Marvel versus
Oh
Capcom
yeah,
video games. So like Phoenix is like one of the dopest characters on that
yeah,
game.
totally.
So I started looking into Phoenix, and I was like, wow, she has such a great story. I think that film would be so great. And then when she was in Apocalypse, I was like, oh, that's cool. I could get into this. And then I heard the movie was just like so not
Yeah, it
what they
was
could have done.
it was dumb, and they already like fucked it up twice. So it's like, I don't think
Yeah, when they
did.
had that other X-Men with Famke Jensen, right? Wasn't she?
Last Stand, yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, in any case, Ben
Yeah.
Affleck. Yeah. Batman's coming out. Get excited or don't. And then I wrote the Dazed and Confused guy gets subbed in to play basketball, even though he's like blatantly a vampire. So like no one knows this. And how did he get to the game in the middle of the day?
Yeah, right?
Well, I think it's at night.
Cold.
Oh, is it at night?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm.
That would make sense. But I was like, isn't this game like it seems like it'd be kind of like too much in here. I wrote they chase him all around. They chase him all around that fucking the court, right?
Mhm.
Doesn't
Yeah.
like he's acting all weird and Buffy like gets in there and then she's like and everyone's like, "Oh my God, what's going
How come
on?"
nobody is like
girl on
fighting
the
for their
court.
lives? Like,
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, this is nuts. And that's when she's chasing him on like she sees him and he's like running out in the street and then she goes by that like motorcycle bar and she like grabs one of the guy's motorcycles and then
Yeah.
one of the guys like, "Oh yeah, he said something to her that was like really fucked." I forgot what it
Oh,
was.
do you want? It's like, do you want to know what it's like to have some real power between your legs or something?
Yeah.
oh yeah, right.
What is up with this? What is up with this like rampant misogyny? Like just
Yeah, and then she like punches him in the face, and he falls down to the ground. And like she takes his motorcycle, and as she's riding away, he calls out like, "You're a dyke! You're a
What?
dyke!"
Oh, I
Yeah.
totally forgot that.
Oh, Jesus. Well, yeah, that's
Little
fucked again.
slip-ins here and there, I guess.
Yeah, right? I was
It's
like,
awful. Yeah.
1992. Wow. And then, yeah, she's chasing him on a motorcycle, and then she gets to that, like, weird float storage place where they store all the
Oh
floats
yeah,
and
for the
fast
parade.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, the bowls, like, the big parades and stuff, which I think is so dope, and it'd be so awesome to do a photo
Oh,
shoot in there.
definitely. Totally,
It
totally.
was super cool. And that's when I love when she doesn't get off the bike, she just gets off it and just lets it like hit and float. Like it's really funny. I'm like, oh my God, I love she knows how to ride it, but she can't break it and like just stop and just even flip it over. She just lets it run into the thing and hops up and runs around. And then she finally meets Lothos. And I love that he's just
His
like,
porn
"You're
stash.
not yeah, it's so weird." And he's like like looking at her and he's like, "You're not ready yet." I'm like, "Not ready." And then Pee-wee is out there too. And I was like, this is so weird. He's like, "You're not ready yet. You're just not ready for me to like kill you yet." But then he kills Merrick.
Mhm.
That fucking knife. And it looked like he died for quite a while. Like I
I
was like,
I
what the
do love as he's dying and like Buffy's like comforting him, how he turns to her and he says, Everything you do is wrong."
Yeah.
but you should keep doing it.
And then recite Shakespeare.
Yeah, right? He is no Giles. And now I think I'm at the age now where I find Giles somewhat attractive.
Hey, he
I
kind of
mean,
is attractive.
I mean, he's not
No,
unattractive.
anything.
Especially
I
when he
mean,
reverts back to his teenage self and like has that
Oh,
weird affair with
Ripper.
Buffy's mom. Yeah. And he like has the cigarette packs in his earring. Like he like flips up his shirt and has a cigarette pack in his sleeve.
Right.
I was like, ooh. And like the whole grungy like flannel shirt around the waist and like
mhm.
blue jeans. Like it was pretty cool. I liked that Giles.
Definitely.
But yeah, so then we get to like another one of my favorite iconic scenes is when Buffy's like goes into the gym and all of her friends are sitting there making I think decorations for like the Hug the World dance,
Mhm.
which is so weird because also in My So-Called Life a few years later, they had a dance called the World Happiness Dance.
Oh.
I don't remember if there was some kind of like big push for like peace. I mean, their peace signs were kind of big in the 90s. I remember I had like peace sign earrings and like peace sign shirts. They had like peace frogs. Remember that frog that did the peace sign?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like they had like peace was like a thing, like not a thing, but like an icon. So I wonder if it was more of this like world happiness, like hug the world. It was more of a like, remember that Heal the World song came out
Yeah.
Yes.
probably around that time. So like I think that was kind of like it must have been a vibe because I was like, that's weird that there's two dances and two different shows that are like somewhat, like 2 years apart, but they all have the same kind of like peace and love and like heal the world kind of thing,
Mhm.
which I thought was really funny. I love that she's like, her friends have turned on her. They're like, Buffy, oh my God, you are not doing anything anymore. You're just running around and like, we don't know where you are. Ew, you're dating an older guy.
Right.
It's that dude. It's that homeless looking guy. And then she's like, no, it's not him. He died. Like, like, it's that other guy. It's that weird looking guy. I was like, you mean Dylan motherfucking McKay? What the fuck are you on?
They're
Like, what are
awful
these
friends.
And I love how she's all of a sudden just turned into like a better person.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Buffy's just like, so I'm better than you and I have a calling now. So like I just
Right.
can't be bothered with this bullshit. Yeah, she's literally just like, well, whatever, who cares? And that's when I think Hilary Swank says that like iconic line, which is gonna be the title of the episode.
It really
So
should.
it's either that one or I think I wrote another line down that may be one, but I kind of like take a chill lozenge.
I love that.
That was kind of cool too. And also I like she's such a blemish.
Yeah.
Like, that was also
Which
pretty
scene
good
was that?
too.
I totally forgot.
In the movie theater, I think. Oh, the
Um,
blemish one, no, the chill lozenge was in the movie theater.
Yeah, and then I think when they're at the cafe, there's that scene where I don't know her name, but she's the girl who's not Hilary Swank and not the other one, but the other girl.
Black
Anyway,
girl?
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Her friends that have no title names.
I know,
except
right?
for, like,
Yes,
Hilary
I know.
Swank and like
I
that
know,
other girl.
I know that like Hilary Swank's name is Kimberly, and then I don't know about anyway.
The curly haired one. There's that blonde curly haired, the girl that gets with the guy at the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
the one
girl
with
that
the rosy ass cheeks, yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess they're like all in the dance committee and they're like playing the dance and like the black girl's like, Buff, I don't see why we have to invite every single scene.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh yeah.
And then Buffy's like, because it's
The senior dance.
and then she says, yeah, but why do we have to invite Nadia? She's such a blemish.
Oh
that's
yeah.
so funny.
Okay. That's what she says. So funny. And then Buffy is like, she's like, oh God, okay, I guess I gotta go to this dance and like buy something. So she's like walking at night on a street where no stores are probably open with the guise of shopping for a dress. And that's when Luke Perry like rolls up on his motorcycle. And I just wrote, oof, Luke Perry on a motorcycle, R.I.P. Like, and he's just like, hey, come on, I want to fight vampires. It reminds me very much of Spike's speech when he found out he vampires when he had that chip in his head.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody, let's fucking go. Let's fucking kill this evil. And she's like, I don't know, like, I just want to buy this dance. I just want to buy this dress. I really don't want to have to deal with this. And he like speeds away. And I was like, oh God, he's so hot. What the hell? That's just not fair. And then I wrote, hug the world dance. Now we're at the hug the world dance, which is so weird that this whole movie is so short.
Yeah.
Because I was watching it and I was like, wow, we're at the dance and there's like 15 minutes left. Like,
Yeah.
how is this going to pan out? Like, how is this totally going to pan out? And then she finds out that her boyfriend essentially breaks up with her on the machine, but and then just brings her friend to the dance. And I was like, wow, her friends are awful.
Yeah.
And then I love when he like finishes talking to her and she's like, this is crazy. And he's like, hey, you, like, let's go, whatever her name was. And she's like, okay. And she just like leaves and goes to them. I was like, wow, you have no friends at all. Like, it's really a fucking shame. And then Pike shows up at the dance looking like Dylan McKay.
Of course.
Like, literally. Like,
I love
hair.
his leather jacket.
Yeah, I wrote loved the leather jacket. This scene reminds me of Angel when he goes to Buffy's senior prom.
Yeah, you're right.
He shows up. I was like, oh, this is another Buffy moment. And then, or another like TV Buffy moment. And then I love when the seniors try to bust in and they're like, they can't come in. They're not invited. I was like, they go to the school and this isn't a private home.
Right.
I thought this rule only applies to like private homes, not like you can't be invited in anywhere.
Yeah.
But it seemed like that's what was going on. I wrote, Pike. I love when Pike gives her the leather jacket, and that's exactly the outfit that Buffy has on in the end of season 1.
I love it.
Yeah, in the white dress. I also love she has like white combat boots with her dress too.
Oh yeah,
which I think is cool. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she doesn't have like heels on. It's really cool. And I love when he like the dress rips. When he like gives her the dress and she gives her like the bag of all the shit and then he like grabs her and then the bottom of the dress rips off and then it's like really short, then it's like knee length then. I think that's really cool. And then that's when she goes down into that like boiler room kind of thing.
It was a
That guy
something, yeah.
basement, yeah, and that's when you see like Lothos is there, like playing his weird violin, and that whole scene was so random but so funny,
Yeah.
especially when she kills Pee Wee.
Yeah.
And I love in the credits scene where you see like more of him, like
And then
he like keeps doing it, like keeps dying, and she's like, ugh, God, like whatever. And that another really funny but like awful joke was like, it's like I can do everything. We're immortal. We can do whatever we want. And she's like, clap.
Right.
Oh, that's awful. That's like so bad. And then yeah, he ends up dying. And then I said, I one of another really horrible problematic scene is when the fucking principal pushes Hilary Swank's head like into the wall. Like she's like screaming, like running around, and she's not even like turned or anything, and he literally just pushes her head into the wall, and she just kind of blacks out and just like flies down the floor. I was like, holy shit.
The expression on her face as she's like collapsing is like hilarious to me.
It's so
Like,
funny. Like her eyes are like rolled up, and she's like, ugh. And she like falls down. The epic end of the battle scene is pretty cool. Like the whole vibe. One of my favorite scenes, I guess I can tell you now, one of them is when there's kind of an overview shot of the gym, and you see like some people dying on the floor, some vampires biting people, and then some people just dancing.
yeah.
Kind of like that part. And then I also love the end where they like ride off together.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really fucking cool.
It was I like that part. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Yeah, so music, let's talk about music real quick because fashion will be a bit longer. Music, I said this is not where the budget went.
No, not at all.
It's totally bro. It's not very memorable.
No. I mean,
There are about 3 or 4 songs on this soundtrack that I do like.
Okay, which one?
So I like that I like that song by Suzanne Hoffs. It plays at the end. We close our eyes.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I like the Toad the Wet Sprocket song, and then I also like that song by Matthew Sweet called Silent City, I think.
Oh yeah.
And then I also love the Divinal song too.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't remember that like stuck out to me that much. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, all I
You
said
have
was
any?
REM Everybody Hurts. I love that song.
Yeah, another
C plus C Music Factory, which is like keep it coming.
Oh
Like in the
yeah.
beginning. And then yeah, I said Ozzy Osbourne and Toad the Wet Sprocket. But yeah,
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
I mean just like you said, the budget did not go to music. There was a
Yeah.
couple
I
of
mean,
songs here and there, but
92.
huh?
I'm trying to think 92 like were film soundtracks. I feel like film soundtracks became a thing in like the mid 90s.
More like 94, 95, yeah.
Yeah, and like that was really used. Like we just did singles, the film singles,
Oh yeah.
and that soundtrack like way better than the movie because it was all like grunge artists.
Mhm.
It was all like the bands that were big then. So they released that soundtrack 3 weeks before the movie came out because or like 3 months or something crazy. Like they knew that like all the Smashing Pumpkins, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, like Cornell, all that like everyone was gonna buy that soundtrack and probably go see the movie. But this one it just seemed like very like an indie film,
Yeah,
I guess you could say.
definitely.
Because it wasn't like massive, like I heard about it, but it wasn't like, Batman.
Right.
Like it wasn't like that. It wasn't a massive film, but yeah, let's get into the fashion. What do you guys have for fashion notes?
I like the scene that Buffy is wearing in, I think it's like the first scene in the mall. It's like that red polka dot dress.
Oh, I love
Mhm.
that. Yeah. And then we've talked about the yellow leather jacket, which is apparently in an entire movie in itself.
It is, yeah.
And then I also just love her prom dress at the end, and then prom dress 2.0 when she's wearing Pike's jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I just said a lot of slick back greasy hair was used for the guys. That
Yeah.
was the thing back then. I did that as well. There was a lot of use of oversized sweaters for girls and the leotards with the short clothing for the cheerleading squad was very popular. Not even if you were cheerleading, if you were just like walking around the mall.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, because it was
That's
like
all you guys
80s,
have?
early 90s, so you know.
That's true. I have like so much more descriptive. Um, I love Buffy's outfit in the locker room where it's like a green polka dot shirt and
Mm.
it's like tied up.
Mhm.
Like she
Mm.
has a shirt underneath it and it's like tied at the waist. I like that. I love when she's leaning over in the convertible when that guy makes that horrible comment.
Mm.
You see her shoes and she has these really thick white socks that like all these girls used to wear with their Doc Martens. They're like yellow low Doc Martens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Those are the shoes she has on with that red polka dot dress and the jean jacket, but I think is really cool. Another classic Slayer outfit, which Buffy does wear several TV Buffy wears several times in the TV show. It's the beanie, the gray zip up sweatshirt with the black shirt underneath, and the blue jeans.
Oh, right.
She wears that like several
Okay.
times. She usually wears it when she's like out to do something. Like she wore it once with Faith,
Hmm.
like when she's out, like just to change and go home and slay. Like
Mhm.
she knows she's going to go out.
Mhm.
She's worn it. I think again. She wore a similar outfit when she got kicked out of her house.
Mhm.
She has like overalls on in that one, but she always has like sometimes she has a beanie and stuff like that. And then I also like the plaid shirt that Buffy has on the street when Luke Perry like comes up beside her on the motorcycle, and it's like a plaid shirt, those like longer jean shorts, and she has like white boots. And then I also love Pike's leather jacket, the motorcycle patchwork, and like the flannel that he wears. I think that's really cool. Also, another motorcycle jacket is David Arquette.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he always wears it, which is really cool. Cool. All right, so favorite scenes and lines. Charles, what about you? You go first.
Okay. There's a very early scene when she and her boyfriend are at her house and her parents are just leaving, and there's like a quick soundbite on the TV, and you
Mhm.
get this quick snippet of the news anchor saying, "Blank, blank, blank. The apparent cause of death was a severe neck wound
Yeah.
that resembled, in the words of one bystander, a really gross hickey." Um,
I love that one.
and then okay, and then I also love during the scene credits at the end
I
when
know what you're gonna
how like okay, so the guy who like slapped Buffy's ass and like she totally like kicked the shit out of him.
That's
Um,
one of my favorite scenes.
but I love this line when he's like talking about the vampires and he's just like, they had this look in their eyes, totally cold, animal. I think they were young Republicans.
That's like my favorite.
Oh my god.
That's my
That's
favorite.
awesome. That's
Oh, that's cool.
funny.
That's all you have?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool. Mike, what about you?
I just have a couple different lines. Like, does the word "dumb" mean anything to you? And then when Buffy says to Merrick, when Buffy says to Merrick, like in the beginning, "Let me get this straight, Kay. You want me to go to the graveyard with you because I'm the chosen one, and there are vampires? Does Elvis talk to you?"
Yeah.
and then toward the end, where Pike says to Buffy, "You hear the world is under attack by legions of the undead, and you're going to a mixer."
Oh yeah, Mixer. I wrote. Is that a '90s thing? Mixers. I wrote that.
I mean,
It definitely is.
Mixer.
Totally.
Mixer,
Yeah, right. People don't call them
Mixer
mixers
Mixer
anymore.
sounds more like a business gathering.
It totally
It
does,
was like a
though.
place for like singles in like a church basement.
Yeah,
Like
you know.
before like internet dating. It was like, let's go to a singles mixer. Because like yeah, like that's where you would go to
I
meet
mean,
people.
like it's like a singles mixer in like Nebraska. Like
Yeah.
like like it seems like they use the word mixer in like the Midwest a lot. So
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Let us know if you still use the word mixer. We don't. Let's see. My favorite scenes and lines are I've said most of them. Take a chill lozenge. I like.
Yeah.
She's such a blemish. Let's see. You get out of my facial. The Young Republicans line, and my favorite, which also was a contender, but it's not going to be anymore for the title. It was great. My secret weapon is PMS.
oh yeah,
Cramp.
that was so weird about how like the Slayer gets cramps.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. Like she gets cramps when she's in
Oh, and then
trouble.
he even didn't even Merrick mention it. He was like, "Let me guess, cramps or something."
Yeah.
I'm like, "How do you
This
know?"
was written by a man. This was written by a motherfucking man, let me tell
Like,
you. Like,
yeah.
and then she's like, I'm not actually due for a few more weeks, but thank you.
I'm glad that didn't transfer over to the TV show. Can I just see this hilarious, like comedy of errors where Xander somehow, contracts the the vampire cramps, and I don't
I
know,
know.
but like,
Like
know.
Faith, it's just like she comes in and she's like cramps. It's just like no, like it just so wouldn't. It doesn't. I forgot what movie it is where someone says something and they're like cramps, and they're like no. I forgot what it was, but it's something like really funny. My favorite scenes are Buffy's training montage.
Mm.
That's pretty sweet. When she flips that jock in the hall,
Mhm.
like the friend is just like, "Wow, you're feeling really unneeded, aren't you?" And like,
Whoa.
get out of here. Something. And you're like, let's go. It was like, this sucks. And then also that funny scene at the dance when you see some people running in terror and other ones dancing. Like that's just pretty funny. And my most 90s moments, I have just basically all the slang,
Yeah,
which
that was
carries
mine.
over into like Clueless. Yeah, it's just there's so many. And I also it's weird that when Buffy's boyfriend is at her house, he's eating a bag of Doritos Light. Did you ever
Yeah.
remember Doritos Light?
Oh, I saw the Doritos, but I don't remember the light part.
Yeah, it's their Doritos
I
Light,
don't
which I'm
don't
gonna Google
I
right
don't
now because
remember
I
that
don't
at
remember.
all.
Charles, do you remember that?
I don't, but I've been watching a lot of Supermarket Sweep lately, and like
Oh,
Doritos Light has been kind of coming up a lot.
interesting.
So,
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, 'cause
but yeah,
isn't that series on Hulu or something?
um,
Amazon.
yeah. There's like a series of episodes on Netflix,
Mm.
and then I think there's like 40 or 50 episodes on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
it was coming out. I think on Monday.
Yes.
The one
Yes.
with Leslie Jones. Yeah, this is gonna be super cool. It's gonna be so funny. And then I just had mixers. Those were my '90s moments. What about yours?
Me?
Yeah, does anyone have any?
Oh, I said the exact same thing with you, basically about the slang.
Oh
And
yeah,
then I don't know if this is a '90s moment or just like an interesting thought to me. I love the house, especially in Buffy's kitchen. They
yeah,
had the round awnings, and that was very like '90s
yeah.
for people to have in their kitchens. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
It was random, but
Do you have any, Charles?
No, I just had the Dorito bag too.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
Doritos
Doritos.
Light sounds so interesting and gross at the same time.
When they had all that light stuff. You know, they had like
Pepsi
Philly Free.
Light and
Well,
Philly
Crystal Pepsi
Free.
wasn't. Yeah, Philly Free. It was like cream cheese, but it was like not light cream cheese. It was free, like free of
What
fat.
the
It was awful,
hell?
so awful. It's probably just as awful as like vegan cream cheese. I'm sorry, vegan people, but
Ew.
I can't
I can't.
get down with vegan cheese. I would just rather not eat it because
I
it's
have
just
my healthy like moments, but something is just gross about that.
something. I think it's if you don't tell me that it's vegan, and maybe I'll be okay. But if I kind of hear that it is, it's probably some
Yeah.
psychological.
No,
Like,
Mhm.
totally makes sense.
goes. Yeah, totally makes sense. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts on it? What are your final thoughts on this whole shebang?
So I thought this movie is funny, but it's a total mess.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
at the same time, it's hilarious, and like there are like so many lines that just like I don't know, I've just been quoting for my entire life, but you really can like tell that the foundation for like what we like accept like what Buffy became is there. You have like prototype Cordelia, and it's all there. It just needed some fine tuning. So
Yeah, I miss the fact that in this film that there was no Scooby Gang,
yeah,
but that would have been something that
There
because
really
it
was.
obviously you could because she would have to have told them like obviously you have more time in a series to like really develop like she tells them then they become more and more involved but they couldn't do that in like an hour and a half because she just had to fight like that was basically it. She just had to like stay alive.
yeah.
I also
What
find
about
it.
you, Mike?
Oh, I'm sorry. Final thought. I'm even though Joss Whedon is and was a dick, I'm glad he got his way for the TV series.
Ugh,
Just
I know.
because, like you said, like they have the Scooby Gang, they have more of a thought out plan. I wish that there was actually like an original cut so I could compare and contrast.
Yeah, like the movie that he would have done. Yeah.
I just found this out too, was that there was a talk of a either continuation or reboot back in 2012, and a script was written by some guy I can't remember, but it had no mention of Joss Whedon's involvement. So fans of the Buffyverse were just like, "Fuck this! This is
No.
awful." Even some
Yeah.
of the cast of Buffy and Angel were just like, "That's the dumbest idea ever. Who could do this without Joss Whedon?" Very like Nev Campbell, a la who would do Scream without Wes Craven. You know?
Yeah.
Although even with Scream 5 coming out, they did get Nev Campbell. But it's like the people that did Ready or Not, which is a horror movie, which was amazing, by the way. If you
Ready or Not?
Yeah, it's called Ready or Not.
Is that the movie about the family that hunts the bride?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's so good. So good.
Is that new? Oh, 2019.
Yeah. It's so bloody, so gory, and just
It's on HBO.
Phenomenal, huh?
It's on HBO.
Oh, is it? Oh, sweet.
Oh, Ryan Murphy wrote the screenplay. Fuck yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Yeah, nice. I'm gonna watch
so
that.
hopefully Scream 5 is just what?
Adam Brody.
He's in it?
That's what it said.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't remember that.
And Ready or Not. Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully Scream 5 is gonna be like phenomenal. Anyway, but with Buffy, it's still in limbo because Joss Whedon also in recently 2018 he's like, well, I'm thinking about it.
I say no. I'm gonna vote a no on this. I really liked how the Buffy series ended, which we won't say in case you haven't seen it and maybe you want to watch it, but I really do like how it ended. I don't really think they need to do anything else. Angel had a pretty unsatisfying ending, and I think even they all feel that way because didn't that get canceled?
Yeah.
Like they were supposed to have longer
one more season or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one I feel like I would have been happy if they did like almost like what they're doing Wii U alert, they're doing another Dexter.
Oh, I saw that yesterday. I'm so excited.
So like I don't know what the fuck because that was one of the worst endings I've ever seen on a show. Talk about a downward spiral, that show. After season like 3 or 4, it was like who cares?
It was a little touch and go.
It was too much, yeah, and the end was just not great. So I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with that. But I feel like they should have done that with Angel maybe like within the first 5 years. They should have done like a maybe 10 episode thing, but they didn't have Netflix and all that shit they have now. They would have had to have gotten it like approved by a TV show or a station, which they're probably like, no, we're not doing that. But it'd be cool if they did. But see, now they're all older. Like it's fine if they have Buffy and friends because they're all human anyway, but like they can't have any of the vampires in there because they're all significantly older. Yeah.
I mean,
they kind of missed their
although with prosthetics, I mean, you can kind of do certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they could be in vampire face all the time.
Yeah.
They could do that.
I mean, they did like CGI Robert De Niro's face for The Irishman.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, I guess they can do something like that.
Yeah, they could.
But for an early 90s movie, I mean, I give this maybe like a 3 out of 5.
Oh, yeah, okay, out of 5. Yeah, what are you? Yeah, 3 out of 5. Okay, good.
I'm a 4. I love this movie.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna go about a 3 too.
Okay.
I'm gonna go about like a 3 out of 5, yeah. And my final thought is it's really fun. Don't go into it expecting anything crazy, but I feel like this film is super fun and it's probably gonna make you want to watch the TV show.
Yeah.
Which
you can't compare. You can compare, but you can't at the same time. You can't think it's like a long story. So
Oh yeah, it's definitely a different story, same kind of character. I mean, just basically Buffy is the only one that's the same character that's in the show. I also do like that in the show, it's very serious and dark, but it is really funny and like very well written too, and like smart and funny. And then they also do have some campy episodes, like that musical one.
I love it.
Like they do have like humorous bits where it's not all dark and serious the whole time. And then they have some really great standalones, like Hush. Like they have a lot of really great episodes. I also really love the episode. I think it's in season 7. It's called like Conversations with Dead People.
I love that.
That's a good one.
Episode.
It's a great like standalone where they're all having the different conversations. It's such a great show. Can't talk about it enough. If we end up becoming some massive podcast, we'll do a Buffy. We should do a whole Buffy thing, but there are so many out there. Different podcasts that do Buffy episode like breakdowns because it's just so great. But I would love to do it if we had time, and I don't know, maybe in the future, you never know.
It's true.
Well, this has been so much fun. I forgot to say like and subscribe. I started a new Instagram. It's at Fashion Grunge Pod. DM and do all that fun stuff if you have any ideas or suggestions. I'm going to make a big list so people can see things we're considering uncovering and what we already have done. So that should help a lot of more people out, which will be really fun. But yeah, this was so fun, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was amazing.
Yay!
This was super cool. I can't wait to do another one together. I don't know. I really want to do Cruel Intentions. So maybe we could do Cruel
Yeah,
Intentions.
let's do Cruel Intentions. I like that. I haven't seen it
have it
before.
up in the air. Yeah, have it up in the air with like some people, so I'll see. Like, I think I asked Jules if she wanted to do it. I don't know if she's ever seen it, but yeah, if that works out, we should do all that together. And then I'm also going to be doing some more Halloween themed episodes, so look out for those. I guess I can tell you that. Let's see, we are doing Halloween H2O. Me and Mike are. That's going to drop on Halloween, and then me and Charles are going to do Final Destination.
Woohoo!
The original one.
Yeah, the original.
The only one that matters.
And then I'm gonna. Yeah, the only one that matters. Oh well, there's like 4. I think isn't bad. The one where they're in the car wash. There's like a car wash one.
Is that the roller coaster?
Yes, I think that's the one with the roller coaster too. I don't know if it's 3D. I saw it at a drive-in theater like a long time ago. But that one's pretty good too. But the first one's definitely the best one, like hands down. It's got Jack from Dawson's Creek in it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Cool.
It's got Jack. It's got Stifler.
Yes,
I totally forgot Stifler was in that.
I know, right?
Yeah, dude. I don't know if American Pie would be one that anyone would be even interested. I don't know if it's on brand.
I would totally do it.
I mean,
I like the second one. I'm more partial to the second American Pie. I think that one was better than the first.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is really. I never saw the third one. I heard that was kind of like.
I mean, the third one's awful, but I did like American Reunion, which I think came out in like 2015 or something.
See that.
But like that has like the entire original cast.
Tara Reid too.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's got Tara Reid and like Natasha Lyonne and
I love her.
Klein, so yeah.
Oh, I love Natasha Lyonne. I need to watch that show that she did. What's the one? It's on Netflix.
Russian Doll.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard it's really good.
Yeah, we started it, and it's pretty good. I want to start it from the beginning though.
Yeah, I heard it's really good. I'm still watching Billions, and then I'm gonna shift over into House of Cards, and then and then I think there's a new show on Showtime, The Good Lord Bird, that looks really cool. That Ethan Hawke's in. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out. But yeah, this has been super fun, and I guess we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.